Okay, dear participant, good evening all of you. How are you? I am audible.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Good evening,
Okay.
Professor.
Yes, yes. You are permitted to unmute your mic during the session. If there is any kind of question during the session, you can ask. Okay. So due to today, my moderator is absent. That's why I have to start myself. Okay. So, yes, I want to share my screen and then we discuss everything. My screen is visible. Yes. Okay, it's fine. So, first of all, welcome to on the very first day of this workshop, ethical use of generative AI tools for research paper writing from literature review to publication ethically. Okay. So the thing is, uh, ethical use of the generative AI tool for the research paper writing is a practical, research-focused workshop designed to help researchers, faculty members, scholars, and students to use generative AI responsibly, ethically, and effectively throughout the research and publication process. The workshop covers the complete journey from literature review to the publication, including foundations of the generative AI and its role in academic research, literature discovery, review, and paper reading using the AI tool, AI-assisted research writing while maintaining the originality and academic integrity, data analysis, visualization, code, and interpretation with the AI assistant, prompt engineering to effective the research-oriented AI interactions, citation reference, fact checking, and hallucination detection, research ethics, plagiarism, authorship, copyright, privacy, and responsible AI use. With the help of by using all these generative tools, we can prepare manuscript editing and publication readiness, responsible handling of research and confidential data, and journal publisher institutions policies on AI assisted research. Okay, so before starting the session, I have some question. Okay, so first of all, welcome to this platform and welcome to all the participants. And first of all, thanks to all the participants to show your interest on this workshop. Okay, so I have one question from to all the participants, and you can reply my question by unmute your mic. Okay, how do you currently use generative AI tool in your research or academic work? Anyone, please. How you are using these generative AI tools for academic purpose or for your research if you are using? Anyone, please.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, please.
Yes, I use AI tools for writing my literature review in my research. I also use it to arrange my work for my manuscript for publication. Sometimes when I'm confused about data analysis and statistics, I also use AI to just analyze the data. And I guess that's all. Then I use it to also prepare graphical abstracts. Some journals that may allow AI use, I also use it to prepare for publication. I also
How
use
many
it to
tools
write.
you are using for literature review and writing the research paper or for any kind of the statistical analysis?
How many what?
Yeah, how many generative AI tools you are using?
I use ChatGPT. I use Cloud and sometimes I use Grok. Those are the
Okay.
three I use most of the times. Perplexity occasionally.
Okay. So after using all these tool, you can write your paper and then after you can submit and paper has been published.
Yes, because usually at the end of the paper, you still declare that you used AI for grammar and arrangement of the work. You still have to make a declaration. So they usually accept it and publish.
Okay. So
Yes.
where your publications are, in which journal? SCI, Scopus Index, Q1, Q2, Q3 category?
Well, I have some in Elsevier. I have some too in some of these Scopus based cited journals.
Okay. May I know about your research area? Can you please?
I'm in the medicals.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, any other participant? Any other more participant who are using these generative AI tools? Okay. Okay, no problem. So actually, during these 7 days, okay, many things just as we are using ChatGPT, Grok, or Gemini AI, and many things there are. How these are ethical or where we can use, how we can use, okay, ethically. And there are some policies about all the journals. There are some policies about funding agencies. There are some policies of governments to use all these. Okay. So first thing is we have to respect about all these policies. Okay, so what are these policies and how we can assess all this information? So all the points which are concerned because we all the people from academia are responsible. So the foundation of generative AI and research ethics, okay, and along with the responsible, this is our responsibility. Okay, so what are the foundation? We are starting now this session. So first of all, once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to day one. Okay. So here I am delighted to have you, all of you, us with the over the coming sessions, and we will explore the generative AI can support researchers from literature review and paper reading to academic writing, data analysis, research, communication, and publication. Okay, but before we start using AI tools, we need to understand something more fundamental, what responsible AI assistant research actually means. Generative AI has changed the way we search for the information, understood the concept, writing code, analyze data, and communicate research findings. However, every powerful technology also brings responsibilities. Our objective today is there not simply to learn what AI can do, but to understand what researchers should not do with AI. Okay. By the end of the today's session, I want you to remember our one principle. AI can assist the researcher, but the researcher remains responsible for the research. Because at the end, the responsibility of the findings, the responsibility of all the results which we publish in the research paper goes to the researcher. Okay. So these generative AI tools cannot be the contributor of the research. They can assist. We can take help from this. Recently, I will share the link of one renowned professor from IIT. IITs are very reputed institutes in India. Okay. And recently, he was in media because of his about 36 papers restricted from the journals. Okay. And you will get the complete detail, and still then he was promoted. This is not the good thing. Okay, but actually, when this type of the information, when we get in the society of the academia or of faculty members, who has the very big responsibility to the next generation, and if this type of the things happen in the career of one faculty or the researcher, so what will be the impact on the society? We have to think about all this. And during these sessions, uh, many things will be there. Okay, many tools we can integrate in our research, but ethical use, so that in the near future, this type of the practice. Okay, and now the you will see that rejection of the papers are very speedily and in the very beginning. And if we are using just like getting the information by using these all generative AI tools without just copy and paste in the our findings or in the writing. Okay. And when we check the plagiarism, so there are some tools. Okay. Just like Turnitin is one of them. Okay. So all these tools are easily can easily find these generative content by using generative AI tools. Okay. So we have to very conscious about all these generative AI tools, where we can use and how we can use ethically. So this is the main thing where we have to focus. And all these we will present by hands-on by using uh, tools, and we will demonstrate where is the problem and how you can use all this so that you can easily exempt from the plagiarism. Okay, and also in the near future, if there is some more advanced tools, we can exempt from the restricted from of the journal. Okay, so all these things are very, very, important for all of us. So the main key points from the AI-assisted research to the responsible research, understanding the generative AI application in the academic research, academic integrity, and ethical AI use, and responsible AI-assisted research practice. All these are very, very crucial point. So the next is actually, can you please anyone explain the what is actually the generative AI? Anyone, please. If we all are using generative AI, and one of the participants is saying about ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, we are using. Okay. So actually, what are these? Anyone, please. By using all these tools in the today's, we are generating the some text, images, we are generating the code, audio, video, and data and other content for the interpretation and for the statistical analysis, many more. Okay, so actually, what exactly is the generative AI? Artificial intelligence is a broad field concerned with the developing system that can perform tasks that normally requires human intelligence. Machine learning is the major approach within AI where the system learn from the data. And deep learning uses neural network with multiple layers to learn increasingly the complex pattern. And generative AI represent another major development. This system can generate new content based on the pattern learned from large amount of the data. So, for example, a generative AI can produce, as you can see here, text, images, computer code, audio, video, summaries, explanation, and other forms of the content. Okay, so many of you are already be familiar with the tools such as ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud, Microsoft Copilot, and the other. So, for the researchers, this is particularly significant Imagine that you are working on a research topic and need to understand the difficult mathematical concept. We can ask an AI system to expand it at the different level. Okay, so we may need help generating the Python code for the data analysis. AI can assist. We may need help improving the language of a manuscript. AI can assist. We may want to brainstorm possible research question and AI can assist. But there is an important distinction. The ability of AI to generate something does not automatically mean that generated content is correct. Note this point. Original, ethical, or suitable for the publication. This is very crucial point. Okay, many times the content which are generating because by using the chat GPT, many times all these are not correct. We can't use all these content directly in the research paper. Okay, so we have to keep all these point very carefully. We have to use. Okay, we can take, because if we are not verifying what we are getting by using this generative AI tool, and if we are using directly in our paper, okay, so this is completely one of the unethical practice. And secondly, this will also generate the plagiarism if we are directly using this information by copying and paste. Okay, so this is the main central point to discuss in the session in the today's. Okay, so the next is how do the large language model work? How these are working? Okay, so we have the prompt token, model processing, generated response. Okay, so let's discuss all these very briefly. And what happens when we interact with the large language model or LLM model? So when we type a prompt, the system does not process our sentence exactly as human reader would. The input is broken down into the smaller unit called token. Okay, when we put any, because all these are the pattern and or the best of the pattern, we develop these generative AI tools. Okay, so when you put any sentence or any prompt that will be break into the small parts, that is known as token. Okay, the model then processes these token in the context of the information provided and uses patterns learned during the training to generate a response. Okay, so at the simplified level, the model predicts what content is statistically likely to come next based on the context. So this is one reason why AI can produce remarkably fluent and convincing answers. Okay, but here we need to remember a very important point. A fluent answer is not necessarily a factual answer. Okay, so an AI system can produce beautifully written explanation and still contain an incorrect statement. It can provide a citation that looks perfectly realistic but does not actually exist. It can generate mathematical reasoning that appears logically but contains an error. It can write computer code that looks professional but can produce incorrect result. Therefore, as a researcher, we must develop the habit of verification. If we are not to verify the results which with the help of this tool we are generating. Okay, so verification is very, very important to check the validation. Okay, with the existing content or the research publications, how we are verifying. So we should never say the AI gave me the answer, therefore it must be correct. Instead, we can say the AI provided a possible answer, we need to verify it. The answer which we get, we need to verify before using it. Okay, without verification, we can't say that, because all these are only just like the prediction, what can be, what are the possibilities, and that possibility can be correct or that can be incorrect. But without verification, we can't say. So this is the very, very essential. So that change in the mindset is fundamental to the responsible AI assisted research. Okay. So these generative AI tools can be help us to find the fact, to find the to write the code, to understand the language and many things. Okay. So all these we can use in such a way that it is a assistant, but without validation and without verification, this is completely unethical. Okay, we can't 100% trust on these findings. Okay, see the fact. Are these usable directly in our research findings? Because our main focus is on the research writings. Okay, so if actually in the research we are producing some new thing which don't exist. Okay, so for that, the fact which we are getting, if everything these tools are doing, then what the meaning of the intelligence of a human being? Okay, and keep in mind, these generative AI tool can assist, okay, not be the contributor. Some of the participant has unmuted the mic. I request please unmute it, keep muted. Just 1 minute. If you have any question, you can raise your hand. Okay. I just 1 minute. Yes. So I restrict to unmute the mic so that any kind of disturbance, if there is, can be avoided. Okay. So if you have any question, you can raise your hand, and at the end of this my lecture, we can have the open discussion. Okay. So next, we can have the generative AI across the research life. Okay, life cycle. So where can researcher use generative AI tool? Research question, literature review, methodology, data analysis, writing, and publication. This is the complete cycle. Okay. But now we need to discuss here where generative AI can support us throughout the research cycle, life cycle. Okay. Research begins with identifying a problem and developing a research question. A can help us brainstorm possible direction, identify the concept that may be relevant, and organize our initial thinking. The next stage is the literature review. AI tools can help researchers discover concepts, summarize, document, compare the ideas, and identify potential research themes. If you are using only the ChatGPT and the Grok, Gemini AI for the literature review, these are not good for the literature review. Okay, so if you are needed, we will present about 20-25 tools and their applications we are going to cover, and each tool have some specific application. Okay, for the literature review, we have some other tool for if you are and to find out the research papers and the connections to the get the idea, to find out the research gap. For all these, we have different tools, and one by one, according to that, where which tool can be applicable and how we can get this information. So everything we need to understand first. Okay, what are the problem and how we can use them ethically. Okay, so during the methodology development, AI can help explain the research method, suggest analytical approach, or provide examples of the computational technique. During the data analysis, AI can assist with the programming, statistical calculation, visualization, exploratory data analysis, and interpretation. Okay. So during manuscript preparation, AI can help improve grammar, clarity, organization, and readability. Finally, AI can also support research communication by helping researchers preparation, presentation, graphical summaries, educational material, or other communication output. So potentially, AI can assist with almost every stage of the research. However, there is the critical distinction. AI assistance is not the same as transferring responsibility to AI. Okay. So for example, AI may suggest a statistical test, but the researcher must determine whether that test is significantly appropriate or not. Okay, if everything we are getting the information from the ChatGPT or other generative AI tool which are exist, and usually we are familiar about only ChatGPT or Claude is there, Grok, okay, or Gemini AI. Okay, these are very limited. So for everything, we have some other tools also, okay, which can help us. But the thing is, when we have the method which you are using with the help of ChatGPT, this can suggest. But the importance is we have to verify also. Okay, we have to check the fact. Is this method is applicable for the existing data set? Okay, and if yes, then how it can be possible? So the fact is very, very important. A may summarize a paper, but the researcher should consult the original paper before relying on the important claim. A can help write code, but the researcher must test and validate the code. Okay, by taking some known result or by taking the simple example whether the code which you have write with the help of this generative AI tool, whether these are producing the known result by using this code. Okay, known result means which already exist, and the same code if you want to use for your problem. Okay, so verification and validate and testing is very, very essential. Okay, so AI support the research workflow. The researcher control the research process. Okay, so next we can have the AI assisted research versus AI generated research. Okay, so on the left side you can see the responsible assisted, and on the right hand side you can see irresponsible use. So from this, when does the AI assistant becomes the inappropriate? There is a significant difference between using AI as an assistant and allowing AI to perform the intellectual work that the researcher is expected to perform. For example, suppose I ask an AI tool, explain the concept of regression analysis in simple language that can be useful learning activity. Suppose I ask, improve the grammar of the paragraph that I have written, that may also be an appropriate use depending on the applicable policy. Okay, keep in mind here, we have to respect the policies of the journal which are defined. I will share the link and the article. A few days back, there was a workshop for 2 weeks on generative AI tools for leadership. So this part was also we explained there. Okay, and the article is very nicely right. So before using these generative AI tools, the policies about the journals, first we should follow all this. We must be very aware about the policies which are given and give some instructions are given to us. Okay. And all these are clearly defined how if we are using the generative AI tools, we have to define in for what purpose we are using. Okay, so where you can use and where you should not use, these two concepts are very essential to understand here. Along with the we should all go through the details about the policies of the generative AI tools. Okay. Also, if you have the project and funding agencies have also their policy about the use of AI tools. Okay. In our institute, if the in the institute there is are they also have defined some use of the AI tools. Okay, for department level or for the organization level. Okay, so we have to respect everywhere. Okay, so that also uh, maybe the appropriate use depending on the applicable policy. If we ask improve the grammar of this paragraph that I have written. Suppose that I ask AI to help me debug a Python program and then I test the program myself. Okay, again, AI is functioning as an assistant. Okay, the problem arises when researchers simply generate an entire research paper, accept the content without verification, and submit it as their own scholarly work. Okay, this is completely unethical, and we are not verifying the concept and the validation of the results, finding the content or the results. So another serious problem is asking AI to generate reference and then using those reference without checking whether they are actually exist. The important question is therefore not do you use AI? The better question is what did you ask AI to do and what responsibility did you retain as the researcher? So the responsible use requires human intellectual contribution, critical evaluation, verification, and accountability. Because at the end, the responsibility is of researcher. Okay, we can't say if there is any claim this is the responsibility of AI tool. How we can say? We can't defend if there is any question or any problem in our finding. Okay, we can take help from the generative AI tools, but at the end, the responsibility is of human intellectual contribution and accountability of the researcher. Okay, so we have to clearly check all the fact which we have contributed in our finding. Academic integrity in the age of AI. What are the core principles? Okay, so here on the left side we have the core principles just like originality, honesty, transparency, attribution, accountability, reproducibility, and on the right hand side avoid plagiarism, fabrication, okay, falsification, misrepresentation, undisclosed inappropriate AI use. Okay. So the academic integrity is not a new concept created by generative AI. Researchers have always been expected to maintain originality, honesty, transparency, and accountability. What generative AI has done is introduced a new situation where these principles must be carefully considered and let us about the plagiarism. If a researcher copies the text from another researcher without attribution, that is plagiarism. But A create another possibility. A researcher may generate content through AI and present it as entirely their own intellectual work without following the applicable disclosure or attribution requirement. This is the fabrication. Okay. Fabrication means creating information that does not actually exist. For example, inventing the experiment observation or the references. Okay, so when you are using generative AI tools and sometimes if the references are produced by these generative AI tools, and when you will verify, when you will check all these references which are produced by generative AI tools, when you will search, all these references will not exist. Okay, so then we have the falsification, which involves manipulating the research material, data process, or the results is in the misleading way. Okay, so AI must never be used as a mechanism of the for the fabricating or the manipulating scientific evidence. Another principle is the transparency. If a journal, institution, funding agency, or the other, you can say, authority requires disclosure of AI use, researchers should comply with that requirement. Utility, academic integrity means that our research should be honest, transparent, verifiable, and intellectually responsible. And AI does not remove these obligations. It makes them even more important. Okay. So these concepts, these how the core principles, everyone, okay, should follow and respect the policies. Again, I am saying because the policies of institute, policies of the journals, and policies of the funding agencies and the government, we should always respect. Okay, and transparent. What are the major ethical risks of a generative AI tool? Okay, so what can go wrong with us? There are some terms just like you can see here, hallucination, fake citation, bias, copyright, IP, privacy, or reliance. Okay, so these we have to keep in mind, and what the ethical risk if we are using these generative AI tools. Okay, and that's why to verify the fact, very, very important. Okay, so the first is the hallucination. An AI model can produce information that sounds completely convincing but is factually incorrect. For the researcher, this can be particularly dangerous. Imagine that an AI system gives you a citation for an important theoretical result. You include it in your paper without verification, but later discover that the paper does not exist. Okay. Actually, the example which I gave you, I will share the link of that particular professor, what he has done in his work. Actually, the images which are exist in the research papers, and he manipulated the images and used directly in his own paper. Okay, and 36 paper are not less in amount, huge amount, which restricted from the journals. Okay, so the thing is how we are using, we have to very care about all this. Okay, so this type of the practice lead us, when we are using this tool, hallucination, which appears like a correct, but actually when we will verify all these are not find. The second is the fabricated or inaccurate citation. And we have already discussed about all these, because when we are using these generative AI tools, and some the references which are producing by these two generative AI tool are not correct, we have to verify. So researchers should always verify references using reliable scholarly source, and whenever possible, consult the original publication. So all these we can easily check and verify. There are some tools to verify the references, okay, which we will cover in the coming session. But before that, where is the gap of using all these tools? Where should we use and where we should not use? And what is the ethical practice when we are writing any research paper or we want to contribute? Okay. And what is our accountability to use of these tools? So AI system, the third is the issue of bias. Okay, so AI system learn patterns from the data. If those data contains biases, the output may also reflect those biases. For example, because for example, if we are creating some data set, and the data set contains some of the misinformation or don't have the correct information. Okay, and if you develop some just like a machine learning model, okay, so all these are model trained based on the pattern and what the information we have in the database, and in the same way that all these generative tools has been generated. So if the facts are not correct, so if because of this, the output or the information which will be generated will contain bias. Okay, the fourth is the issue is the copyright and intellectual property. Researchers need to be very careful about how the copyright or the proprietary material is used with the AI system, and should follow the applicable laws, license, institutional policies, and the publisher requirement. Okay, so for this, we have to go through the details about the policies, because during the very last time, all the policies of the journals, most reputed journals have their own policy, and all about a similar time. Okay, so the points which they have described about the use of these generative AI tools, we must be familiar. Okay, and researchers may work with the unpublished manuscript and participant information. Actually, one more thing I will explain here, and I can show you. See, this is my, okay, see here, this is ChatGPT, okay? So actually, when ChatGPT is getting the information from the where the internet are available, okay, and sometimes what is there, uh, we some of the authors they can upload their unpublished paper also, papers not published. Okay, just like we can upload on the ResearchGate unpublished paper on Archive is a one website. Okay, so when we are using these generative AI tools, and this information can be generated from those papers also. Okay, so this is the actually very important here to follow the policies and the use of how we can use, and how we must use here. Okay, just like you can see here, if I ask and how these are happening. Okay, right, about so you can see all the information are there. Okay. So as you can see, when we are searching something, and if someone is using this, one more thing at this place, I will let you know. As you can see, this is all the information about me. Okay. Suppose you are using some specific for the purpose of article, or if you have some original finding and you want to for the like grammatical error or for the other purpose. Okay, so your findings will be updated in the generative AI tools. Okay, so when the other person will are working on the same area, okay, if you will use this statement, you will get this information also, because the information which you can see in this ChatGPT is available on the internet about me. Okay, and many things I use in ChatGPT. That's why the ChatGPT is now trained about my information. In the same way, if you are using, you are working on some specific area, and you want to know get some information, just like any idea you share, and then after you are getting some information. So these generative AI tools also becoming more intelligent, and the information which you share about your work also will be available on the ChatGPT or the other generative tools. Okay, as I have shown you this example. So now the ChatGPT for my purpose is intelligent. Okay, if you will share the other informations, that's why we are sharing, and this is the depository, and these generative AI tools are learning from what we are doing and how we are using, what we are asking. Okay, so uh, in this way, these are becoming more intelligent. So the use of these generative AI tools for the research purpose is very, you can say, if we are using unethical, very dangerous. Okay, so finally we have the over reliance. If we allow AI to do of our thinking, we may gradually reduce our own critical reasoning. Therefore, the objective is not to avoid AI. The objective is to use AI without surrendering our critical judgment. Okay, so as a researcher, our intellectual, critically reasoning, or critical judgment must be our own. We can't completely depend upon these generative AI tools. Okay, if you are getting some information, validation and critically study is very important. So the researcher remains responsible. Okay, this is the again last point almost, because when we are using these generative AI tools and we are getting some information, and at the end the responsibility is of researcher. Okay, so here I write human in the loop research. Okay, so the workflow is just like ask, generate, verify, evaluate, revise, document, and at the end take the responsibility. Okay, so here we are. The first step is to ask. We formulate a clear and appropriate research-related question or task. In the second step, just like we have the generate. We allow the AI system to provide the suggestions, explanations, draft, code, summaries, or other assistance. But we do not stop there. The third step is verify the fact which we are getting by using all these generative AI tools. We check the important claims against a reliable source. Okay. The fourth is the evaluate. Okay. So we ask, is this information scientifically sound? Is it relevant? Is the methodology appropriate? Are there hidden assumptions? And then we come to revise. We modify the AI output based on our own expertise and evidence. Okay, without having the evidence, without verification, without checking the fact, okay, we can't accept all the things which we are get by using generative AI tools. And the next one is the document. Okay, where required, we remain an appropriate record or the disclosure of AI assistance, particularly when the institution or the publisher's policy require it. Finally, we take the responsibility because at the end, the responsibility is of a researcher. The final paper, analyze, interpretation, and conclusion belong to the researcher, not to the AI system. We can't claim that these are produced by AI system. Okay, so the responsibility at the end is of human, the researcher. So this is the what we mean by human in the loop approach. Human is everywhere. Okay, from very big step number 1 to step number 7. Okay, human intelligence, human intellectual, human critically analysis always will be there to check the fact, everything which we are using by generating this tool. Okay, so the human researcher remains the decision maker. Then after we have the publication and the disclosure. This part is again very, very important before submitting the paper, what we have to check the fact. So one of the biggest mistake researchers can make is assuming that there is one universal rule for the AI use in academic publication. There is not the necessarily one rule that applies identically to every journal, publisher, university, or research organization. Policies can differ. Okay, I told you that we have to respect the policies of each journal. We have to respect the policies of the institutions. We have to respect the policies of the government towards what they have assigned, government bodies, specifically academic bodies, and the funding agencies. Okay, so therefore, before submitting a manuscript, researchers should check the specific journals or the publishers' current policies because these are time to time changing regarding the generative AI. So we should also consider institutions' research policies and relevant ethical guidelines if they are exist. Some important questions, just like did AI contribute to the manuscript? Was AI used only for the language improvement, or did it contribute more sustainable statutorily? Okay. Does the journal requires disclosure? Does the journal permit AI generated content? Are AI systems allowed to be listed as a author? How should AI assistance be acknowledged? These are the policy questions, and researchers should not rely on assumptions. Another critical point is that AI should not be treated as an author simply because it generates content. AI system cannot take responsibility for the integrity of a research paper in the same way that human author can. Therefore, the researcher must remain accountable for the final manuscript. Okay, so the safest principle is always check the current policy of the specific journal and publisher and what are about the institutions before submission. So we have to respect the policies of all these bodies, which are very, very essential. Okay. So the last slide is the responsible researchers AI framework. Okay, what is actually? So research. So R stands for research the tool and its limitation. E stands for evaluate every important output. S, safeguard data and confidentiality. One more thing, if you are uploading your data set on these generative AI tools, so the information you have shared, okay, and on the basis of this database, you are getting some information. So how you can secure your data? This is again, we have very challengeable. Okay, don't worry about all these things which we are discussing, but we must be aware about all this. Okay, so there are many existing tools, and all these are helping for the researcher, but the use is ethical. How we can ethically use all this? So for this, we have to demonstrate various examples, and in the coming sessions, all these we will do practically. A stands for the attribute and disclose where required. Review the resource and references. C stands for critically verify claims. And H is human judgment remains central. Okay, so follow all these, and when you will follow your research should remain intellectually honest and scientifically authentic. Okay. So as a human, this is the perhaps the most important point of the today's session. Generative AI can be incredibly powerful. It can help us work faster. It can help us explore the ideas. It can help to understand a difficult concept. We can use for help as code, analyze, write, and communicate. But it should not replace the researcher's critical thinking, scientific judgment, ethical responsibility, or intellectual contribution. So if you remember only one sentence from the today's session, that is use AI to enhance your research, not to replace your research judgment. Okay. So in other upcoming sessions, in the coming session, we will explore, move for this principle into the practical application, and we will explore how AI can support literature discovery, literature review, paper reading, research writing, data analysis, and publications workflow while maintaining the academic integrity. Okay, so this is all about this session. Now, I permit you to unmute your uh, mic so that you can, sorry. Okay. Yes, dear participant, now you are permitted to unmute your mic. Okay. So this is
Hello, Professor.
concept about, yes, please. Any question, please, from your side.
Yes, I want to ask, thank you for the wonderful presentation. I want to ask if we can get a document we can be looking at as the lecture. Can we have a document or like a lecture note that we can be looking at as we take the lecture?
Yes, all the content which we are presenting here, okay. During all the sessions, the recordings of each session will be available along with the content which we are presenting here will be available for you. Okay, everything. And there will be some tools which you did not use earlier. Most of the participants are familiar about only ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. Okay. So beyond all this, there are various tools are there which we will cover in the coming sessions one by one. ethical practice. Okay, so everywhere we can't use these generative AI tools only. Any more question?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Rahul Sen, you raise your hand. Yes, please.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, Rahulji, you are audible.
Okay, sir. Actually, I want to ask that you have shown this thing, copyright and all these things. When we
Yes.
write the paper, actually we have some literature review content as well as some experimental data.
Ah,
And you tell that before submitting to the journal, I have
ah,
some already done some all such kind of thing, but I have never gone through such kind of a thing that check
ah.
out the intellectual property rights as well as
Yes,
the
yes.
journal publication, recent policies and all such kind of a thing. Can you show some hands-on practice right now?
Yes. Actually, this is the first day. So, all the informations we put here, what are the problem and what we need to keep in mind. In the coming sessions, everything will be hands-on. Okay, we will use this tool. We will demonstrate everything, which tool you can use in which manner, how you can protect your idea, how you can protect your data which you are using for some type of the to getting the insight or visualization part or for some type of the statistical analysis. So we have to respect the policies. The first very important thing is the policies. Okay, some of the journals has defined their policies. I am sharing one link about the policies I have write in one article because a few days back there was a 2 week workshop on this use of the generative AI tools in academia and for the leadership purpose. Okay, so during that time I write one article where the policies are defined, the link of all the journals, most reputed journals, and their policies are given there. But the thing is, time to time, the policies are changing. Okay, if you are using, because some of the journals has defined, if you are using generative AI tool, for what purpose you use it, we have to mention there. If you are using just like you have some data set, okay, and you want to use some just like statistical analysis, you use the generative AI tool. So just like Collab is there provided by Google Collaboratory, we upload the data set there and we get some Gemini is also integrated there. Okay, so some of the those people who don't have mathematics or statistical background, specifically for the medical background or the agriculture background or from the where the mathematics or stat both are not there. Okay, they can take help this collaboratory. So when you will upload the data set on the collaboratory and you will ask some statistical analysis or just like by using any machine learning model, because everything is there. Okay, so if you took the help from this collaboratory, okay, we have to mention there for this purpose we use this tool for this task. Okay, so this type of the things are defined clearly in the journals. Okay, if you are using for the literature review, okay, so how you will defense your writings? How you will write that for the literature review we are using this tool. This is the unethical practice. Okay, so actually when you will go through the details about the policies of the journal, then we have to keep all these points in mind, where we can use, where we should not use. Okay, these are very critical and we have to critically validate. And if sometimes if you are using to write the code, okay, by with the help of these generative AI tools, we can write a Python code, we can write R programming code, we can write MATLAB code. Okay, for the if you are using all these for the learning purpose. Okay, so if you want to use just like Python is beneficial for you as a researcher, but you don't know how we can use Python and you want to learn. Okay, some scientific computing with the help of these with the help of a generative AI tool. Okay, we can take help for the learning purpose. Okay, So if you upload the data and you directly asking from the generative AI tool without validation, without verification, and we are using this is the unethical practice, because sometimes, not always, this will give the correct programming. We have to check, because whenever you will ask anything, this tool will always return some information. But if we are trust everything which we are getting by using all these tools are correct without verification, this can be incorrect. So without validation, if we are using, then this is dangerous thing. Okay, so if these generative AI tools are recommending some method based on the data set, okay, but if you will find in the literature that you should use the another method, okay, so this will become challengeable for you. Okay, so everything we have to check, we have to check the fact. Okay, we have to verify. Then if we verification and the validation are very clear according to the literature or the previous publications. Okay, then we can trust. And most important thing, if you take the help from the generative AI tool, okay, so you write the program, test for the known results. Known result means which you know, and for what you want to use. So for that, what you will do? If you have the data set more than 10,000, okay, so if you want to cross check, what you will do? You check the same program which you have developed by using any generative AI tool. Check the fact for the small information, just like you have the, if you have the data set at 10 or 30, so the code which you have generated, are these validate the result for the 10? Because for the 10 entries are there, we can do manually also. So if these the code which you have write are validate your small data set, then we can go ahead for the large data set. So without any cross checking and the applications and the which type of the methods are essential for our findings. So the fact we need to, because the responsibility at the end is of the researcher. He is doing research and he is contributing some new findings. Okay, so the fact verification is the responsibility at the end of the researcher. Any more question, please?
So can I ask one more question?
Yes, yes, welcome, welcome.
Sir, it is okay that I also used to do the same thing, that try writing. I have some experimental data. It's original always. But when we write the literature review, and it is important in writing the literature review, we used to get tired up because we know what literature, what person has done such and such kind of a thing. But around it takes, if I were to 40-page research paper, it may 40-page research paper, I think 10 or 5 starting 6 pages are from some introduction and literature review content, and we used to, when we
Yeah.
used to read them about them, that this one has done such and kind of a thing, he used to get such kind of a results and all this thing, it is being very tired up. And even when we go in such a manner, there is some kind of a grammatical mistakes also, but although grammatical is not a such kind of a dealing problem, actually
Yes.
it is that when we used to write out, then there is a kind of fluency which is being required, then we use some AI tools to make a fluency in the paper, that he has done such kind of a thing, later on this kind of a thing is being done, and after that this is the problem, then he has identified such and such a kind of a thing, then where we used to find out, are isko acha hai ki better we should write down, give it to the some chat gpt or something like that, he will make a fluency in the paper, and when he will write down, then such kind of a AI plagiarism used to come. And when this AI plagiarism comes, then how can we able to remove this at AI plagiarism?
Very good question, sir. Very good question. So for this, if you have, suppose that you have 40 research papers, and on the basis of these 40 paper, you have to write your review literature. So what you will do? How you are doing?
I used to do actually by everything by manually only, but it was take a lot of time actually. Now we are everything is
Yeah,
like
yes, yes. This is the problem, and we will give the solution of this problem in the coming sessions. Okay, so you are not required to read one paper, and if you are you have 40 such paper, and you know when you will get some information or many points you are need to collect, then you are required to compare them. Okay, you are required to analyze. You have to find out the research gap also. Many things are there. If you do manually, I think you are required at least 1 month, and it can be more than time. And when you will start a second paper, third paper, then you will also forget what was there in the first paper. Okay, very crucial this part. But with the help of the tools which are exist, and we can integrate them without any problem. The 40 research papers you can review in the single day during very less time, using very less time. For that, we have some tools. Okay. And how you can get the information, and you will talk with the papers which are in the PDF format. Okay, as you are asking the question from me, you will ask the questions from the existing literature which you are following for your literature review. Okay, so all the things, this workshop is going to very beneficial to all the participants. Your question is very, very important. And if I will reply just now, that is not good. I will give the example and practical application. Then you will realize the importance of this AI tool and how you can integrate and how you can save your lot of time. You are not worried about that if I have the 40 paper. And also sometimes if you have new idea and it took a very time to collect the research papers related to the one particular area, particular area where you wanted to. You have new idea and you need to collect the paper first. That is also very crucial. Okay, so with the help of this tool, you can collect all the papers which are concerned with your area, with your title, with your problem. You can collect within 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, and again, if you want to review them, you can do in the single day, or you can maximum 2 days. If you have 40 or about 40 research papers, we will present all the tools which by using all these you can save lot of time. Lot of time. Okay, so the important thing is first where are the prompts and how we are using. Okay, then what are the other ways which are exist? Some are free. Most of the I will try the tools which are free available and ethically we can use them, and these are very supportive. Okay, any more question? One uh, Chinese. Okay. Yes, you can unmute your mic.
Okay, thank you once again. Yes, I want to ask, in reviewing a paper, sometimes you are manuscripts are sent to you for review. Is it unethical to use AI to review the paper? You could just send it to one of these
Actually,
tools.
no. Actually, the thing is, if you are using ChatGPT, if you are using Grok, if you are using Gemini, okay, then it can be unethical. Okay, because we need some idea what they have contribute. Okay, if there is contribution, then what is the gap in the existing papers? Okay, for that we have some other papers, other tool which we will integrate, and by using all these, this will help you and will reduce your efforts. You can accelerate your to finding the research papers which are spotting, to reduce the literature review timing. Okay, if you have the other points which can help to write your literature review, but the language must be your own. You can get the idea, you can get the some information about the existing literature, but the language must be your own. Okay, everything is possible, but how we are using this is important. The ethical use of this tool. Okay, don't worry, we have lot of time. We have 1 week, 1 week only to cover this area. only for the research. We have a lot of time.
Okay, and even in peer-reviewed journals, if you are doing peer review,
Okay, for
can
the review
you
journal.
upload for peer review? Can you upload the manuscript you are to peer
No. If
review?
you are a reviewer and you want to review any paper, please don't upload the paper there. If the paper is unpublished. If the paper is unpublished, that's why I'm saying. That's
Okay,
why
what
I'm
makes
saying.
it political?
Yeah, there are the policies. If you are a reviewer, then which type of the points you keep in mind? Because the paper, if you are getting for the review purpose, that is unpublished, and we are uploading there, it means the unpublished information we are sharing on the these generative AI tools. So the next time when anyone will get the, you can say, ask the questions related to that particular area. So these generative AI tools have depository, and the information which you are uploading are in the depository of these generative AI tools. So this is the unethical practice. Please don't do it this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
No matter the
So,
tool,
yes,
it's no tool that
actually,
makes it
actually,
political.
actually, is thing is that's why I'm saying follow the policies first. See the policies for author as well as for the reviewer. Both are there on the all these journals, and I will share the link. Where just 1 minute, please give me 1 minute. Please give me 1 minute. I can show you. I have the article. Uh, 1 minute, please. Articles. Newsletter. Ethical. The article is based on A-powered higher education transparent admission. Leading with AI. Just 1 minute, please. I am checking the generative AI tool. Okay. One minute, please. Okay, I think article responsible AI. Okay, I will share in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So on that article, all the policies which are clearly defined and very will help you to understand how we can use all this. Okay. Namaste, sir. I am in Hindi medium student and doing PhD in math. When I take idea from ChatGPT. Okay. 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 Uh, okay. There is an article which I read. I am not getting right now. I think yes. Okay, I will. Sorry, I don't get the link of the article. I will share with you after the session. Okay. So actually, the policy for the author means researcher and for the reviewer both are available. Okay. So we have to go through about all this, and if you are using generative AI tool for the review of the paper, if you are getting some paper for the review and you are using directly it to review the paper, this is the completely unethical practice because the information which are unpublished and we upload there, then this directly goes to the depository of these tools, which is the new finding. Okay, so if the anyone, because the other peoples are using the generative AI tool, so if someone is getting some information, naturally that information is available on these generative AI tool. So what happen, you can see the all the unpublished paper, anyone, if there is any people who are working the same area can get the information, they can use. So this practice is not allowed by the journals to use the generative AI tools. Okay, so the rest is the complete article and about the use of AI tool and research policies. I will share with you. So you must go through this article and the links of all the policies are also there at the end of the article. Okay, so this will clear the concept about the use of generative AI tool where you can use, where you can not use all these things. Okay, so if there is any more question, I have only 2 minutes. In the PhD in mathematics, Bhunesh. So if you are uploading the information on the, oh, please check the fact when you will do and check the plagiarism. Okay, so turn10 is there. How much plagiarism is there? Okay, so you have to remove the plagiarism if you are doing in this way. I will not suggest this practice. So after during this 7 days in the coming sessions, you will check the fact and what we can do and what we cannot do, how the exit tool we can use. Okay, Yes, it is possible. It is possible. So all the questions, can we get a document we could be looking at as you lecture? Okay. The difference between generative AI and artificial intelligence is not clear me. Okay, actually the generative AI tool is generating text, video, images. Okay, all these are trained by using some database. Okay, just like ChatGPT, in the very beginning, just only the text. Now the same is generating the images. Okay, so all these are trained on the basis of the large database. And actually generative AI is the sub part of artificial intelligence. Okay, all the things which we can make artificial intelligence, just like a human is artificial intelligence, but generative AI tool are the subset of AI. Okay, on the best of the some database we are generating, we are making intelligence so that they can generate this type of the text. Okay, so all these are based on large database. That's why we are saying them LLM. Okay, any more question, please? Okay, dear participant, this is all about the today's session. The presentation which I present today, I will share with you, and the recordings also is there. Okay, so tomorrow and onwards, we will use all the tools which can help us for research funding, literature review, writing, computing, and many more. But we have to use ethically. Okay, where you can use and where we should not use. So everything we will do, because when we start to get the idea from and idea to publication. So there are several levels are there. So for each part we will use for some specific tool. Okay. So now time is about to over. Thank you very much to be part of this today's session. And once again, thank you to be uh, attend the entire lecture. Tomorrow we will resume the meeting at the same time. Okay. Thank you and good night. Thank you everyone.